Okay, standard first question. Well, right off, just to let people know, this January 2014 is the 10-year anniversary of Amber Connection.
Exactly.
Going back, how did you get the original idea for it?
Everything started with one passion for amber, for
Okay.
the stone. So I remember how excited when I was researching and getting in contact with artists from the Baltic area region, from Poland. And you know what? 10 years passed by and I'm still the same excited about the business. Business is going up and down, you know, different adventures, you know, sometimes it's very good, sometimes it's very bad. But I'm never bored. I love it the same how exactly I remember the months when I was researching and opening the business. Still the same. I love it.
Okay, now, you know, speaking from my own experience and anyone who's had artist, business owner, whatever, it's a huge step to go from the idea to the actual physically, you know, opening a business and doing it. What was like the deciding point when you had the idea of, okay, so this is a great idea? Was there an actual point or an actual something happened that said, you know what, I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to make this a physical reality. What was like was there an actual like deciding factors, or did it just kind of evolve on its own?
No, it kind of evolved, but I always had that idea that, you know, I always loved people and connecting people. So to have an actual place where people can meet and exchange their passions, you know, you have to have a place like that. For a couple months I was doing a lot of home shows. There people were coming to my house, and I had kind of like a jewelry shows, open salons, but you know, it was too difficult. I was dreaming about the place that could be open 7 days a week and people from far away or close could come anytime they wanted. So it was a natural part that I did have to rent a place and have an actual business.
Okay. So, go ahead.
And, you know, sometimes a couple people would probably give up because it's very hard to organize those events. You know, sometimes there's a big crowd, sometimes there's just 3 people coming. But I think it's always okay, even if you have a small crowd, even when people learn through the internet about something, even when people come and see each other after like 20 years and they meet at my store all of a sudden, you know, so there is always magic. In all those events, I always experience total magic. When people come once a month to do those drawings, we have live models, we have a lot of artists coming, we have young artists, older artists. I think it's always magical.
Okay. Now, since you brought up the drawings, I did actually stop by to just kind of get a feel for the last one. If people want to attend something like that here, it's not just the traditional break out a pencil and draw it. I've actually seen people do digital. So it's like even, you know, so even for your live drawing sessions, if you have a tablet and you prefer digital art, you know, doing it digitally, it's the media isn't restrictive. Am I correct?
Yes, not a problem. You can bring your digital iPad, you can bring your pen and write poetry. It's not only drawing.
I did see someone I actually did see someone doing that with the actually writing, describing the model versus actually drawing it. So
we had a woman, you know, my dear friend, who was drawing for the first time, and she discovered something special about it. And I'm trying to break the rules here in the traditional drawings, where during our sessions we can talk to models can talk to us, we have live music always, and they are very natural, you know, events where people can talk and learn from each other.
okay. So it's basically someone knows where it's like a library where, you know, okay, you come in here for one specific purpose.
Oh
and
yes, and you end up like doing completely something else, or there is something new coming from it. Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to go out, like I told you, I have a different way of it when I interview people. Going back to how the store started and it evolved. Is it pretty much the same now as 10 years ago, or has it like evolved and changed it? And I know when I was talking to you before this interview, how you said you constantly like to change things, which is almost in today's world you have to. you know, you have to constantly at least make subtle changes to keep people's attention. So is the store the same as it was 10 years ago, or has it evolved and changed since then?
Yes and no. That means Amber stayed the same. I still have like a very strong, probably the biggest on the East Coast Amber collection here, but I did change the store a little bit. I used to have very beautiful handmade linen flax pieces here, and it changed. Now I have like a lot of vintage clothes, but I want to go back to how I started it. I want to go back to those natural fabrics, and I want to create my own designs with those linen flax fabrics, maybe hand painted items again. So I still have my dreams that, you know, I want to kind of go back to how I started it, and I want to develop my own line of clothes. You know, it's still in dreams. It did happen in the past, but not fully.
Hey, everything starts off as a dream.
Yeah, I want to go back to it and have more things that I'm creating
Okay.
in those clothing, yeah.
Okay. Now, from the business standpoint, you know, obviously, the Lehigh Valley actually, you know, people talk about, oh, well, Hess Departments are what used to be here. Well, as I've started covering the Lehigh Valley, it's like, hold it, hit the brakes here. What about the living history? You know, like right across the street, when I was over getting the coffee, they said that place has been there for over 40 years.
Yes.
It's like, you know, so to me, anything that's been in existence for 10 years has become a part of the living history of the Lehigh Valley. How much has, like, as far as the market and, like, you know, for yourself, and what do you think about small businesses in the area in general, where, like we talked about, I know of an urban place, urban clothing store that opened, and 6 months later somebody told me, they're like, yeah, you know, they closed. I was like, huh? You know, I was like, so how have the challenges been as far as surviving 10 years? Because 10 years for any small business, no matter where you are, is a huge milestone.
It's a long road, and it's a long time. You know, but it's a natural process in business, in small business field, that most of the businesses, even like I would say 85% of businesses, are closing after 1 year. So it's okay, it's natural.
Yeah.
And it fits into those economical, you know, field. You just have to like it so much that no matter what, you just love it and you stay open. And you know, in my everyday life, I just love to come to work. Mm-hmm. But I'm still teacher at small private school, so I have a good balance, you know, where 3 times a week I teach and 3 times a week I work here. So it's a really good balance, and financial support too. And maybe this is, I don't know, maybe this is it, that I could survive like that.
Okay.
I had a good balance and I was never tired of it.
Okay. So it's, you know, basically you just have to believe in it, and, you know, as far as, you know, and also I'm sure, like, actually, you know, looking at the market itself in the area that you live, as far as, okay, how many businesses of this type, there is some basic, like you said, you did research. There is basic, business research before you open and try to survive that long. Am I correct?
Yes.
You actually have to do the research and...
Of course, prepare yourself, do the research, check the locations, and, you know, I could be better with it. That's not my strong point to, you know, those...
when you own your own business, it's I know for a fact it's hard to find the time to do everything, especially
and
marketing.
Artistic part and spiritual part of it.
Yeah.
When it comes to do taxes, it's like, oh no, do I really have to do it? Yes, I have to do it. So it's okay. I will suffer for 2 weeks and it will be over. Mm-hmm. But Amber Connection, you know, it's based here. But I feel Amber Connection is everywhere. It's in New York City, it's in Allentown, it's in Philadelphia, because I do so many events related to art and to, you know, my business that go farther than IMES. So, for example, tonight we have Shankara Art Dinner that I'm organizing. And because it's like a celebration of the 10th anniversary, a lot of Amber jewelry will be displayed in Bethlehem for tonight. So tonight it's an event where food, artistic food and music and art come together, and amazing people are always coming every month, monthly dinner. But then there are art shows that I'm organizing, so Amber Connection goes, to so many different places.
And that's actually smart from especially from the business aspect, because number one, it shows flexibility, because some businesses are like, okay, this is what we do, period. But it shows, flexibility and
Yes.
exactly how much you, as the owner, how creative and how expansive you can be for the business. But at least, this is my opinion. But also, it gets exposure for the business out to people that normally wouldn't even know about it. Am I correct?
Yes, exactly. So I love to, expand and go to different places and be involved in different projects, like sometimes projects that are completely not connected. Like we created a calendar for this year with amazing, like world famous photographer. And we do
And it is
festival in
beautiful.
September, Burning Woman Festival. Completely not related to my business, but it is related to my business because that's what I do the best, and that's what I like to do the best, connecting people, connecting art projects. And this is just like a center, but goes all over from that center. So
Okay.
my business, it's not only Amber Connection store, it's all different things that I do.
It's more of an idea. It's more of an ideal versus the physical business itself. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, if you don't mind, we're going to take a short break. So I like to split interviews up in between two parts. We'll take a short break.